Okay, hello from a different place than I usually teach from. But we've done this before. It's been a bit. As always, this is optional to pick up your laptop, your device, whatever you're listening or watching on, and have your practice from your bed or your couch or something that's just a little bit more forgiving, soft, that you can kind of sink into. So whether or not you're going to stay, I would like you to have something that you can use like a strap. This is my giant exercise band. So you don't have to have a traditional yoga strap. You can get creative with what you have at home. So grab that thing, and of course any other blankets. You know, if you're going to your bed, most likely you have your blankets there and lots of pillows if you're like me. I'm a tad bit obsessed with pillows. We're gonna get started just lying down on our backs, kind of like we were in Shavasana. Doesn't matter which way you face. If you are in bed, you know, feet can be towards the footboard or headboard, but I would like you to have some space. If you only have space at your headboard, or if you need to slide your mat against the wall, I want you to be able to get your feet flat. Right, so I have this footboard down here I can reach my feet to and just let my feet rest. So they're kind of like in a very mild dorsal flexion. And dorsal flexion is when your ankle is flexed like this. Okay. And, all right, so we'll just lay back here for a moment or two. Feel the body settle. Maybe invite your cat to join you for your practice. Just take some time just to breathe and settle in here. You might close your eyes and adjust the shoulders, check out the neck. Do you want support underneath the head? Would that be helpful for the neck? You could use a pillow or a folded blanket. And maybe then you connect your hands to the belly. To get this idea going, this feedback from the body, that the breath is deep, it moves down into the belly. The breath is not only vertical, right, it goes up and down the spine, but it also is expansive across the sides of the ribs. So a few more deep breaths here. Allow the body to feel heavy. And that won't be really hard. Maybe what I'm asking you to do is feeling challenging, like anxiety starts to come up or the mind starts to spin, and that's all very normal. Just know that you're not alone. It's part of the practice. It's part of becoming still, especially if we're not used to being still. So we're gonna kind of stay here and build our first shape with the left foot pressing against that tangible surface of either your baseboard, your headboard, or the wall. And we'll take our strap, whatever we're gonna use for that. We're gonna bend the right knee, loop up the ball mound of that right foot. So we did this not too long ago, but it's a different experience, I find, to do this with the sole of that left foot pressing into the surface that's not going to move around on you. So hips might feel a little bit more in alignment, and you might feel something different along the back of the right leg. So let your grip and your strap be relaxed. You can double wrap around the knuckles. Let your elbows just rest alongside your waist or your ribs. Notice where you're feeling sensation along that right leg, and please feel free to always bend your knee, especially that foot that's up towards the ceiling. Okay, so be mindful of what modifications you might need to make for your body. We'll take about a minute here. I'll set us a timer. Tune back into your breath. See if you can keep a relaxed grip. Feel the weight of your back body, soft and heavy. And just a few more breaths here, about 2 breath cycles. Now we'll start to bend that right knee. You might even take it wide like a half happy baby. You can walk your hand up the strap, or even take your hand around the inner or outer edge of that right foot. We'll just pause for a moment here in half happy baby. And again, notice what's going on with the left foot. Is it still in contact with that prop of wall or bed, footboard or headboard? A little pressure of the foot into that. And what happens to the left hip flexor or the left thigh when you do that? Just notice. Breath in here, breath out. And we'll release that right foot. Send it back towards your prop. Relax your arms and just pause. No need to rush into any next shape. You pause for stillness, draw your awareness down the right side of the body. And notice any new sensations along the right side body. And how would you describe it? What adjectives would you use? Like tingling, cold, fiery, energized. How would you describe that right side? All right, now we'll bring our awareness to our left leg, bending the left knee. Get a hold of the ball end of that left foot with your strap. Press the left foot up towards the ceiling, and if you need to adjust at all, sometimes it's normal to get, like, when you loop up one foot, then the foot that's on the baseboard of the wall can scoot away. So if you need to scoot back down and press the foot back into the wall, go ahead and make that adjustment. Check in with your grip. Can you soften the grip any way? I like to double wrap around the knuckles. So the arms, the shoulders, the head, and the neck get to be relaxed. So how is this left side feeling? Do you need to bend your knee a little bit or a lot? The leg does not need to be completely straight. Feel free to modify for your needs. And I will give us 1 minute here. Stay with your breath. And if you forget about the breath when you remember, gently bring your awareness back. So we're gently training the mind to focus on the breath. Just like you would have a little bit more patience with your young ones, your infants, your babies, or even a puppy or a kitten. Give that kind of patience to yourself. All right, so from here, let's start to bend that left knee pretty deeply out to the side. You can reach up with your hand if you like and grab the outer or inner foot. Your hand does not need to connect with your foot. You can continue using the strap. And then get a little pressure of that right foot back into the wall or the bed board. Take some deep breaths here. Say about 2 more deep breaths in your half happy baby. And then we'll slowly start to release the left leg long back to that first starting position. Just pausing here for a moment, drawing the awareness all the way down the left leg, the left side body. And if you can, practice that descriptive verbiage. How would you describe, maybe just using adjectives? What does the left side of the body feel like? What sensations are there? Okay. So from this position, you can roll off to a side, bend your knees, find fetal position for a moment. And then we're going to come up to a seat, upright seat. Now I'm going to give you the option, a couple of different options, to lean your low back against the wall or a stack of pillows, or you might try to scoot the feet against the baseboard or the wall. So how do you make that decision? Well, you can go for what feels like more accessible, like more supportive, maybe the low back. If it needs a little extra support in your seated positions, you might try scooting back to the wall. Or if it's relatively easy for you to sit up tall, you might try scooching the feet forward and seeing if they connect. Then one more addition, you could take your hands, or your strap rather, wrap it around the soles of the feet, and then just use that to sit upright for a few moments. Kind of a way to experience feedback while relaxing the muscles and letting the prop do the work of holding you up. We won't be here for long. We're just going to take a few minutes. So an upright seat, Dandasana, staff pose, is actually quite challenging. Like I can feel my quadriceps doing a little bit of work, my abdomen doing a little bit of work to maintain this upright seat. I'm not going to keep you here long. Take about 3 more breaths. We really want our focus today, our time today, to be on the more restorative, passive release side. All right, so we're going to turn this into a forward fold. I'd recommend setting your strap off to the side and gathering like all these pillows and props underneath the belly, in between thighs and belly. So you might even take your legs a little bit wider. Maybe it's like a narrow V or a wide V. If you have a million throw pillows on your bed like me, you can choose from a plethora of pillows. And then just kind of drape your body over those pillows. And you can curl your chin into your chest. Let your arms be soft. You don't need to be gripping your feet. If they feel far away, there's no need to get anywhere. Let your chin curl into your chest if you haven't already. You can place something underneath the forehead if you want a little bit of extra support. Pillows work really well. Okay, so in this forward fold, we'll take a little bit more time. We'll take about 3 minutes here. Setting this a timer. Do your best to just stay with your breath. I say that like it's simple, and I understand it's not for me either. So this is why it's a practice of reminding ourselves when we forget to soften, to come back, and to be patient and gentle. Notice if any tension creeps up into the neck and the shoulders. Can you continue to soften there? We're over halfway through, so if the body starts to loosen up and want to forward fold a little bit more, you can always remove props. And the reverse is true. You can always add props if you're finding that you've bit off more than you can chew. So start to slowly unwind and bend your elbows. Feel free to support yourself, come into that upright seat, and then if you need to, you might kind of check out the neck, kind of roll the neck around as you just lazily sit up. Lazy is not a bad thing. Let yourself be a little bit more relaxed. All right. So we'll take one more forward fold, a different variation. I love doing this in bed because it just allows for so much more softness and support, and the parts of the body that need to sink get to sink, right? And then, so what am I talking about? Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And so now my knees like naturally get a lot of support, my outer knees. But if they need more, then we have props, right? We have props. One more thing I would say, this is something I often teach in person when I'm teaching in-person classes, is if you do have a strap or something that's like this loop, you can take it over your head so it's like you're putting on a shirt and nestle it around the waist, the low back, and then loop up the outer edges of the feet. So now this isn't meant to like make it a deeper, bigger stretch. It's meant to make it more supportive of your hips and your knees. Right, so I just have, I'll show that again. So the strap, I looped it around the outer edges of my feet. Okay. And then from here, again, same thing. As we fold in, we can gather as many props as we want. So this might completely change your experience of a forward fold. And since we already did a forward fold, we opened up the hips a little bit with the first exercise, your body might be starting to feel a little bit different. Maybe it's feeling receptive, maybe it's feeling more open, a little bit more liquid. Just notice. Soften the jaw, the shoulders, the neck. A little bit more time here. Okay, so release out of this second forward fold, and for a moment, you can keep your legs how they are, but if you do have that strap around the feet and the low back, I'd recommend removing that first. Okay, and then our pillows that we were just folding onto, let's stick them behind us, or whatever props you were using. So we're going to create our little recliner. Excuse me, kitty. I need you to move. All right, and then we'll lay back on the pillows, if you have them, or blankets, or whatever you're using. Now bring the soles of the feet down and the knees pointing up, and start to wave the knees side to side. Okay, so this should feel fairly good on the hips and the low back after all that forward folding. Knees side to side. And I recommend keeping the feet fairly wide. We're going to pause with the knees off to the left. You can grab a prop or a pillow, slide it underneath the inner right knee if you need a little extra support. Anything that's comfortable with your arms, you can stretch them out to the sides. You can connect your hands to your rib cage and continue to foster that expansive breath. Do a scan of the body, maybe with the eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Scanning the body from the crown of the head down the torso, down the legs, into the feet. Notice if there's any area that can be softened. With as little effort as possible, just switch sides. So the knees are going to rotate towards the ceiling. Maybe the feet stay wide if possible, and then the knees rotate off towards the right. Settling here. Keeping everything soft. A few more deep, slow breaths here. And now we'll release the legs. Maybe you just simply stretch them out long. Maybe you take a pillow or blanket or something underneath the backs of the knees. You can stay in this little kind of recliner situation. We're just going to lengthen out Shavasana 1 minute. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale the air out. Try that twice more. Inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. And one more time. Of course, if you have more time to spare in your day and you come to a place of peace, stay in your Shavasana for as long as you can. If you need to move on, you can start to wiggle through your fingertips, your toes, your head side to side. Small, gentle movements. When you're ready for more, bending the knees, rolling off to a side. Press pressing into your hands, coming up to a seat, however is comfortable for you. Just taking a moment, sitting up tall. So I've been teaching this mudra lately, where the right hand chops across the chest, 4 fingers together, thumb sticking out. And this is like the action-oriented side, the right side, the willpower, masculine energy, the heat, the sun. And the left hand curls over softly, hooking at the thumbs. And the left side is oriented towards the yin, the moon, the cooling feminine energy. Your ability to just allow yourself to be. There's no need to do. We join these 2 parts of ourselves, and we all have these parts of ourselves. Take a moment to settle into this idea of wholeness, of completeness and being. When you're ready, you can bow your chin to your chest, honoring your practice with reverence and gratitude to all of our teachers, past, present, future. Most importantly, to the teacher within. Namaste. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.